robust urban garlic flavor.
You idiots parroting detractor memes, okay? You guys have been wanting me to address this on stream ever since the weekend when the detractors made it up, okay? Listen to me, you incredible mouth-drooling dunce. I didn't spend $1,600 of the tip that I got on Friday on WWE Champions. The character you could have gotten in WWE Champions over the weekend could be purchased for $100. You could outright buy the character for $100. Why would I have spent $1,600, you moron? You're an idiot. You're a gullible dunce, and you should be treated like one. If you're going to say that in my chat, you're a complete idiot. You just believe anything with no actual evidence. You're that stupid. Go yourself. And that's how you deserve to be treated, to say something like that in my chat, to outright insult me in front of everyone and be like, you spent all this money on champions. No, I didn't. You are an actual idiot. You believe everything you're told because you like toxicity and you have the brain of an elephant. It's a little walnut in your head and you like drama. It's not true. None of this people say about me is ever true. Ever. It's all nonsense. You're that dumb. I dare you, go look it up. The character was $100. Why would anyone have spent $1,600 in the game? You idiot. God, you're dumb.
So let me all cue you in on something. I am not a fan of marathon days at all. I detest them because basically every DSP streaming day is a marathon. He's on OBS for 7.5 hours. You have like 6 hours at least from his gameplay and his podcast combined. So it's like, why do you even need a marathon? So he streams for like 1.5 times the regular amount, and his whales are like, yay, let's give Phil 4 times the amount of money we usually do. And it's this big thing, and it's like, who cares, because there's no crash out. It's not entertaining, it's not interesting. And that's what I feel about marathons, because I'm not wasting my time cleaning through 11 hours of hot garbage to find 10 minutes of actual stuff. But then there's always people who will take the time to do it for me. So I'm like, hey, might as well just use it if it's up there.
Is it serious? We've only had 1 sub on Kick all day? Seriously? That's insane. We only had 1 sub on Kick all day, I think. That's pretty wild. I don't need the help. Oh. Infinite 177 just gifted 10 subs on Kick, just because I said that. How much you want to bet that's just because I said that?
So we are going to start at the beginning of the marathon, and it explains the whole reason that we are here. It's DSP blatantly eBegging and revealing that the whole point of this stream is for the whales to come in and give him huge sums of money. It's not about entertaining anybody, it's just about DSP receiving. He doesn't give anything, he just receives.
Back in the day, when I was an early time YouTuber, before I was a live streamer, before I did direct capture, in the early days when I just had a camera pointed at my TV, I actually did a Summer of Megaman. And the Summer of Megaman was me playing through all the classic Megaman games once. But I didn't have interactive live streaming or anything going on.
Yeah, it's funny because when he says interactive streaming, he actually talks less. The only change is that he begs. So there's no talking, just begging. Like literally, go watch a DSP live stream from like 2015. He just fills all the gameplay with commentary. Now he just stares and waits for you to give him money because he's burnt out from doing this.
The difference here is that we're doing an interactive stream. And when we do an interactive stream, that means there's going to be people who are going to be helping me out and say, hey, okay, you should start with this robot master, and then this is the weakness of this master, and stuff like that, so we can get through the games rather than me just trial and erroring it out until I figure it out.
Even with your chat hand-holding you, you still struggle a lot with games. And people on Twitter were saying you were just abusing save states all the time, so that's your trial and error right there, because you don't want to go back and do the level again. I mean, it's a give and take thing. Like, I use save states too, but I'm not live streaming, so I would try to do a balance in between, just depending on the moment.
And I hope that you guys will do that, because yes, we want to try to get through all 3 games today. Now, there's a few things going on today during this marathon. Allow me to explain and lay out the groundwork, okay? Number one, today obviously is a normal stream for me, and you guys can contribute to support my content.
He lays it out that there's nothing different from his like special marathon streams than any other stream. Like I told you, he's just playing games a little bit longer, and he's expecting quadruple the amount of support for it.
I hope that you will. When we did this back in January, it actually did quite well for a retro marathon. All right, it really did. It did pretty good. My goal today would be at least to match what I did in January. And if I remember correctly, I'm not even kidding, I think I made around like $750 during that marathon. So obviously I'd like to try to at least match that today, if not top it. You always want to do better, not worse, right?
Yep, welcome to this chill marathon stream where the expectation is the streamer demands that you give him more than $762. Now obviously that's spread out, but that's more money than the amount of concurrent viewership he has. So for this it was like $250 because it was a little bit more for a marathon. But yeah, the game is high. You either hit 5 goals or DSP is gonna throw a fit and rage.
We'll see how that goes. Now, as you guys are contributing today, we have all new animations. I set all these up this week to try to be ready for this marathon. There are animations for $4.20, $5, $6.66, $10, $20, $30, $50, and $100. All of these are special animations that not only play on the screen, but also all have sound effects that are tied in. There is a Megaman animation for $10. So if you like Megaman, you want to see a Megaman animation, $10 contribution will get that up on the screen. But there's some new ones that I've added that you guys haven't even seen yet because they're newly added. And, you know, how often do you really get someone to contribute, you know, $100? Almost never, right? But during a marathon like this, typically that's when we get some of the bigger contributions. So it would be great today, as you are enjoying the stream, to support the stream. And you can do that through many different ways. You can become a member here on DSP Gaming on YouTube. You can become a subscriber over on Kick. You can give some memberships to your fellow viewers here on YouTube, or you can give some subscriptions over on Kick. We even have sound effects for gifted subscriptions on Kick now.
So why he pushes that Kick support so much is because since the casino convinced him to include super chats, he doesn't get as many tips. So YouTube pays monthly. He likes daily tips so he can go and play champions immediately. But since people really don't do a lot of that anymore, he pushes Kick hard because Kick pays him weekly. So that's better than YouTube because it's 4 times faster, and he gets a bigger cut than YouTube does because Kick only takes 5% out while YouTube takes 30% out.
You can do a super chat here on YouTube. You could do a tip via PayPal, which you can actually access that information by typing !tip in the chat, and a link will pop up where you can see the link and you can go contribute that way too.
Yeah, it's not about entertaining an audience, it's about raising money. This has the feel of a telethon. That is what Phil does. He doesn't care about putting on a show. He just turns on OBS, launches a game, and hopes it gives him money, and if it doesn't, he's just gonna panhandle like this. That is what Phil does. He's about the drama of whether the goals are hit or not. And whenever he does a marathon, he expects big money for doing it, and that's what he's telling you right here. But don't worry, it gets even more ridiculous than at the point that we are at this junction.
All right. So, number one, you can contribute during the stream, and for every $100 that I raise today, I will be taking a shot of liquor. What liquor, you say? We have some options. I didn't get it all up here yet because I was setting up and I was able to bring up some of it. We've got tequila.
Yeah, mind you, this guy calls himself a recovering alcoholic even though he drinks pretty much every day for all we can tell. He really wants you to give him money so he will drink. And then he shows off the various booze he brings up from downstairs. And then he's like, no, I'm not going to take 20 shots at once. It's like, okay, Phil, everything in moderation. But it just really sounds like this marathon is just an excuse for you to continue your addiction, or at least one of your addictions, because we know Champions is another, on stream, and have it masked as a chill, fun thing to do. Okay, then Philip.
Very potent stuff, so I can get those if and when we're ready. For every $100 raised on the stream, I'll take a shot.
Why do I feel like this behavior can lead to very bad things?
It definitely affects the marathon. It affects my performance in the games for sure, 100%. And it'll be interesting to see how much and at what points you actually have me drinking.
So we have this meta game where you give him money so he can indulge himself in his vices. Really?
I like drinking, so it's not that I don't want to do it, but I have to do what makes sense for the business.
This is just so sketchy. And he's complained about other streamers with their things, but they've never done stuff like this.
A few things are going to happen determined by the levels of support that we get today on this marathon.
Yeah, this is not a gaming live stream. This is give me money while I game live stream, where I will lay out in excruciating detail why you should give me money and how much money you should give me.
The first thing, and this is the immediate, as you can see if you take a look at the top of the screen, this week was a weird week for me. This week, we had some streams that did absolutely horribly, and then we had some streams that did absolutely well. If you actually take a look at the week, it was actually a good one, a decent week. It wasn't amazing, but it wasn't terrible. It was pretty good. But the thing is, because of the way that things panned out, we weren't hitting our goals. All right? As you can see right there, goals hit 97 out of 100. In a normal week, we probably would have had the 100 already, but a few things happened, like RoboCop being boring and crashing nonstop, Donkey Kong becoming insanely boring. The thing is, it's gaming these days because it's funny. The streams that are about me, for example, us interacting when I play American Truck Simulator, right? Or a stream where literally I called it Chill with Phil and all we did was hang out and talk for an hour and a half. I hit and exceed my goals. But when I'm dependent on a game, the success of the stream usually is dependent on the quality of the game. If the game is boring and I'm doing my best to get through it, but if it's boring, it's boring. People aren't going to support a boring game.
And you hear him say that he's dependent on the games. Like, yeah, Phil, you've always been dependent on games. That's just the way it's been. Now, if you were smarter, you would have evolved past gaming years ago. But you were just so bland and uninteresting that you use games as a crutch to fill your streams with time so you can beg for money in between. And the irony is, if you did more chatting sessions or chill with Phil stuff, you'd be making more money instead of playing games that become boring because you're such a bland and uninspiring streamer.
Donkey Kong Bonanza has become insanely boring. People don't care about it. I gotta finish it now. So, that's the problem. AAA gaming today isn't what it used to be. A lot of these games that used to be able to depend on to be great end up being boring halfway through. And you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm still playing this. What a slog.
Yeah, Donkey Kong Bonanza has become the new punching bag because it's an explore, do your own thing kind of game that Phil hates. He wants yellow paint that tells you exactly what you should be doing at all times. Because he is not creative enough to make a game fun. He sucks all the joy and fun out of playing video games.
So, today, we're at 97 out of 100 goals. The goal is to hit 100 goals as soon as possible. Why?
Because he wants $450 immediately so he can beg for $600 and $750 and $900 and so on and so forth. Because he thinks the more money he gets, the sooner means he'll get more later.
Because today I would like to do a live edition of DSP Tries It.
No, he doesn't. He was begging to do it before the marathon because he wanted to get that money early, so during the marathon, he could just eat on his own. But now he's like, aw, shucks, we're in a position where I'm going to hit it on the marathon, hopefully sooner, not at the end of the stream, so I'm going to have to stuff my face. Because he'd rather just order food with his wife and eat it instead of doing a boring taste testing where he picks apart all this food and uses the same 7 adjectives over and over again to describe it.
We were trying to do DSP Tries It all week. I'm going to be ordering food from a local restaurant called Claim Jumper, which I have eaten at before.
Yeah, this is where DSP talks about one of the 3 things he's very passionate about: WWE champions, drinking, and eating fast food, or eating out in this case. So Phil is going to tell you, I really want to enjoy this stuff, okay?
We need to hit 100 goals to do this. That's how it works. Every 10 goals hit, I do a DSP Tries It episode. So, the sooner we hit it, the better. It would be amazing if we could hit that goal within the first few hours because I want to order the food for dinner, and typically I order dinner around 4:35 p.m.-ish during these marathons. Right now, for the record, it's 11:47 a.m. Okay? So, we need to hit goals. So, there you have it. Let's do it and let's hit that goal. So, that's number 1. is that for your support, I will take shots, but also we're going to be ordering food for DSP Tries It if we hit 100 goals. Now, you might say, well, what happens if we don't hit 100 goals? Well, first of all, that would really suck.
Yeah, so Phil expects it to be well over $500. If it's less than that through the entire stream, he's just going to have a complete crash out. He already told you that the bare minimum was $762, so he would just order food and be very salty downstairs with his wife as he gobbles down a chicken sandwich, complaining that it has too much sauce on it.
Because like I said, the marathon in January, we did 750 some the bucks of support, and I want to top that today if possible. I want to see, hey, can we do better, right? But if we don't even hit 3 goals today, I still have to eat. So I already talked to my wife, and she's looking to say, well, if we don't hit the goals, what's the backup plan? We're literally just going to order something randomly. Will I eat it on stream? Yeah, I will, but it's not going to be DSP Tries It. I'm probably not even going to film it. It'll just be me on stream eating and talking with you guys. I won't even treat it as like a taste test. It'll be more like I'm just eating because I'm going to be starving in the middle of the marathon, and then we move on.
Yeah, and he said he was going to order food regardless if he hit for the DSP Tries It before the marathon and he did it the day before. So there really isn't a huge incentive to give him money just so he can stuff his face. Because arguably it would be funnier if he didn't. He'd be just staring at you saltily as he's munching on a food. And we know how Phil operates. He doesn't value his viewers' time, so he'd probably just spend 30 minutes chewing and maybe not even saying anything. Maybe like sulking in silence. Like, this is the ultimate pity bag. Because he's like, well, I'd like to do something, but I can't do it unless you guys give me a ton of money.
So ideally, we're going to be doing DSP Tries It. I would love to do DSP Tries It. I want to do a new episode. We didn't have one this week because of the weirdness of this week, okay? But there's sadly no real guarantees that this is going to happen. I guess we have to see what happens.
And he knows that the whales are going to show up. He's just trying to squeeze the money out of the people that are hesitant to give him money in the first place. He knows he's getting $500 at worst case, so he's going to be doing DSP Tries It today. There's never like a marathon stream that fails because his whales get very excited for them. So the $100 contributions just come rolling in. He may only get like 3 or 4, but they come in.
And that's number one. So number one, every $100 of support hit today, I take a shot. You choose the shot. And when we hit 3 goals, we'll be doing DSP Tries It for dinner, hopefully.
Yeah, he's like a broken record. He has to repeat himself 7,000 times. It's either he thinks his fans are too stupid to have it like sealed in their memory, or, you know, he just feels like he has to condition it, the pignosis. He has to repeat itself over and over and over again. So they get the message. I really, really, really need that money. I really do.
But there's another factor involved here as well. All right? Right now, I'm in an interesting position because I've been doing marathons once a month, but usually it's around the beginning of the month. I mean, take a look. It's August 8th right now, right? The problem is this is not aligning with what we're going to be doing for the end of the year.
Yeah, so the gist of it is DSP has a stupid schedule and he wants to have these marathons on certain special dates. So basically Halloween, Black Friday, and within Christmas Eve, like usually that Friday where Christmas is or whatever, like the solstice, who cares? So Phil's like, I can't do it at the beginning of the month, even though he's been holding marathons at the beginning of the month because he thinks that's when his whale's paychecks come in. So what he plans to do is have another marathon at the end of this month, so we can have one at the end of September, October, November, December. Now, if Phil was smart, he would hold at least 2 to 4 marathons a month, because you can just combine what you do in the day and the night, just call it a marathon and play one game throughout, especially on premiere days. But Phil isn't savvy enough to do that. He doesn't notice that the whales gives him huge sums of money on these marathons, but I guess he thinks he shouldn't oversaturate it. But Phil, if you did more marathons, you wouldn't have to stream 6 days a week every week, because if they're paying you at least double to do a marathon, that's a day you don't have to stream.
Every single year, I traditionally do a Halloween marathon and a Christmas marathon, and I've also been doing Black Friday events for the last several years. I want to do that again this year. But then that means the marathons aren't at the beginning of the month, they're at the end.
Yeah, this is a made-up problem that only makes sense to Phil. And what he's literally doing is he's begging to have a second marathon. Because, oh, we have this imaginary problem, so you all need to give me a huge amount of money so I can hold a second marathon even though I'm gonna do it anyway to satisfy my schedule cravings.
So what I want to do is kind of shift the marathons around, all right? But I don't want to not do one for an extended period of time. For example, let's say I do the marathon today. I don't want to wait till the end of September to do the next one. So today, depending on how this marathon does, if we exceed what I did last time, someone actually just looked it up in chat. They said it was $761 that I raised in January on the first Megaman marathon. Okay?
Yeah, you see how this is just a planned nonsense problem so he can beg his fans for more money? That's what he's doing here. Oh, somebody looked it up in the chat. How convenient. Like, you gotta be a brain-dead porcupine to buy this nonsense. And everyone knows the whales are gonna show up anyway in support, so why even bother giving him money? Because he won't care. He just cares about the whale support.
All right. So if we exceed that by $1, if we do 762 today, I will do a second marathon at the end of this month, last weekend-ish, okay?
Yeah, look, you give Phil a ton of money and it conveniently works into his schedule. Go figure.
So today is the day. If you were someone who's been asking for the return of the classics, if you've been saying, we want great classic gameplay, we want another marathon with fun stuff like that, then let's do it. Let's go for it. Let's see if we can hit these goals. Can we get DSP Tries It today? Can we get, the Mega Man Marathon to be the best one ever, and then we'll do a bonus marathon at the end of the month. So there's multiple things you get. You get me drinking, you get fun animations, you get DSP Tries It, and you get an additional marathon at the end of the month if we hit these goals today.
Yeah, but here's the problem, Phil. You're already live for like 35 hours plus in a regular week. So the incentive for a marathon stream is not that high. But your fans don't get that, so they'll support you regardless. But it really is a handful of whale tips and sock accounts that keep you flowing. Because most people know it, and most people are just hanging around to see the disaster stream develop. Even though for marathon streams that doesn't happen, so it's like, why bother even showing up? Like, I don't understand why people watch this for 11 hours straight unless they actually enjoy it, which is a very small group of people that do. Like, he's saying there's a ton of benefits, but it's mainly stuff that you get on a regular stream anyway. And it's, hey, see Phil do stuff he wants to do regardless. So it's like, where's the fun in that? The reward is Phil clapping his hands saying, good job, I got them again.
I think I've explained enough.
Yeah, this is Phil. It's just transparent, latent, shameless eBegging in excruciating detail where he explains in a business-like meeting style for 20 minutes where he's telling you, I need that money, we need to hit these goals. It's not your audience's job to give you money, Phil. You're there to entertain them, but instead you pressure them and you make it all about whether you get support or not. So who wants to stick around for that when there's 10,000 other game streamers out there? And these marathon begs feel very redundant, more so than actual stream begs, because we know the whales are already there and we know they're going to whale out on Phil. So what's the suspense? We know what's gonna happen. He doesn't need to beg here. He doesn't need to lay down the ground rules because they already know the ground rules. So what are we all doing here?